we'll start here.
Okay.
Do you want to angle it down so it's not looking at the ceiling?
Yeah, it's
So
really.
keep going. There you go, perfect.
Okay.
Cool.
I don't know if you can catch everybody.
Do you have an
in there or
agenda,
not,
Frank?
You're really not.
Yeah.
For her.
Oh, she can have mine.
Rather record.
Well, I can look at it and return it. It doesn't look huge.
All right.
No.
Should I call this to order? It is 7:02, and we can let this meeting begin. Start with a roll call. I'm here. Ms. Nuttall, excuse Mr. Robbins.
Yes.
Ms. Winter, excuse Mr. Wright.
Present.
Ms. Yother. Ms. Zeiss.
Yes.
All right. And then we move on to the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. So do we have any public comments on the agenda items? Okay, none. Are there any additions to the agenda or approval? Any additions to the agenda before I? No.
Oh, director evaluation.
Okay.
Is it to schedule one, or are we doing that today?
Schedule one.
Okay.
Thanks. All right. So let's go ahead then. All in favor of the agenda with this amendment?
Give me a second while I pull up the agenda, would you
Okay,
please?
sure.
Because I have no idea where it is, because it's probably 3 days down in my thing. I
Yeah.
didn't even know it showed up.
Just send in mine. I don't need it.
Here you are.
Do you have public comment towards the end too?
Mhm.
Yes.
Then-
I'd like to add the camera as to why, we talk about the camera, and we can talk about that during the library staff member.
Do you want to add it to that
Yeah.
proposal?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. All in favor of the agenda with amendments?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. Okay, great. Now on to approving the minutes of the July 18th meeting. Do we have a motion to approve?
Briefly, before we go there.
Sure.
Some of these I think required, we did vote, and I don't think I see like the motions created and supported. Should this include the votes as well?
The vote should
I
be,
included just the ones
Yeah.
that were opposed.
I understand. Thank you.
Okay, sorry.
Totally fine.
Just for the sake, I was trying to do it on my phone while I was at work, so.
Nope,
Just
totally
for the
cool.
sake of convenience, I just included the ones that said no.
Cool.
do,
I'll make a motion, yeah.
Mr. Wright makes a motion. Do we have a second to approve the minutes from July 18th?
Yes.
Second by Ms.
Do
Zeiss.
we have
Thank you.
a motion and a second for the agenda?
We did.
Who was the first?
Wait,
person?
who, did we have a motion and a second for the agenda? Let's go ahead and just do that, just to,
I make a
do we-
motion to approve it with the amendments.
awesome. Do we have a
Does anyone
second?
Support me?
Right, seconds.
Great.
Okay,
Thank
thanks.
you.
I was like, wait, I don't think we did that.
I
Okay.
can't say anything because I wasn't here.
Yes, correct.
And then the director's report. Green?
Okay, program highlights. We have a number of special programs coming up next month, September, right around the corner. On Thursday the 1st at 6:30, Bevan Cohen will be coming back to give a presentation about growing your own teas and tinctures, harvesting fall seeds, and winterizing your garden so you can start the next year on the best footing. On Saturday the 10th at 12:30, join us for coffee and waffles while Lori Sheffield teaches us how to create our best cup of coffee. She did a program here about roasting coffee by yourself about a month ago. Lastly, on Friday, September 16th, we're hosting a classic movie night from our cult movie collection from folks who are 13 or older. We'll be showing 2 classic horror films or cult films, and popcorn will be provided. This is going to be a monthly program. Moving on to donations. I am really pleased to let you guys know that Mary took it upon herself to write a fundraising letter, which I worked on with her, and then drove around and identified as many local businesses as she possibly could and sent out the letter. So far, in addition to what we already received with our pop-up patio sale, we received also $500 from Michigan's Blind Gauge, $1,000, as well as a free design consultation from Ideation Orange. And they are also going to be extending their wholesale discount to us on the picnic tables. And they think they might even be able to get the vendors to lower the price even farther because we're a public library. $2,000 from Casey Jones Plating Company. And then today, the $5,000 from Capital Sales Company came in. So we are at over $10,000 now. So we should be able to have a very nice setup out on the patio that we can use for programming and all kinds of other purposes. It's been a long-term dream of ours. And thank you to Mary for all of her time and dedication on the project. I'm also going to announce that we received a few donations from a group of Hazel Park teachers. They're actually a sorority led by Nancy Kolzas, I think. She's a retired Hazel Park High School media specialist. The donations include $25 from Nancy, $25 from Susan Stoof, and $25 from Karen Kang. We're going to be using this money to buy the books, the brand new books that we give to children at our holiday party in December. So thank you to this group of teachers for their generosity and their commitment to literacy. Moving on, the Hazel Park Library Friends. The next meeting will be held next Thursday, September the 8th at 6:30 p.m. in this room. Everyone is welcome to join. There's no membership dues, and pizza will be served. And then lastly, I think it's last, Grace Beam's Girl Scout Gold Project. So Amy is the most perseverant person I've ever met in my life. She applied for a grant from the Madison Heights Home Depot on behalf of her daughter Grace. After pretty much hounding them for about a year, they finally broke down and agreed to do the project. So that includes labor and materials. On September 10th, that's the big day, they're going to be coming and spending the day installing vinyl plank, wood flooring, and covering the walls of the entire area with cork, which will help with the soundproofing and also to create a unified look. They're also providing a giant area rug to anchor the space that incorporates a lot of the colors, a table to go with the booth, which should be arriving about a week after the area is done being updated. They're also providing additional upholstered seating to coordinate with what we already have. I told the lady to pick it out because based on that rug, she has great taste. And she was having fun with that part. And they're also providing a giant whiteboard. The library staff will still place the acoustical hexagonal tiles on the mezzanine wall for additional soundproofing, and it's also going to double as an art installation. So we're going with navy blue hexagonal tiles in the back with some kind of rainbow pattern going through it, and these crazy rainbow hexagon tiles. So it should be pretty fun. We will also be adding a projector for movie viewing up there, so we're hoping that they could do more programs up there. So thank you to Home Depot for their extreme generosity in providing materials and labor. Thank you to Amy for being so persistent. And thank you to everyone who supported this project by donating money too. We're pretty excited. This has been a dream of ours for years. and it's exciting to see it finally come to fruition.
I have a question. You said that we're doing something with the patio out there?
Uh-huh.
Do you know what we're doing out there yet? Have you guys come up with a plan?
We haven't totally figured it out yet. I'm hoping that we have enough money to do at least one table that has a like a solar umbrella, so that people can then charge their
Cool.
devices on it.
Okay, but like a permanent, like, is it movable?
They're really heavy. They're
Oh, okay.
movable, but
Okay.
and the tables themselves are really heavy. Tom Jones, who is the head of DPW, already told me that we should have them shipped to DPW, and they will assemble them and bring them here
Yeah.
assembled.
I just wasn't sure if it was like something permanent, or if we would be able to move it if we needed more room, like in that area, for whatever the program is.
Everything will be movable except the solar canopy is gonna be harder to move,
Yeah.
but it
We
can be
can move it if
done.
we need it. Oh,
And
cool,
we're
okay.
planning on having at least one or two tables that are fully ADA accessible.
Awesome. Cool, I was just curious what it was.
All right. Motion to receive and file the director's report.
Motion made.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Awesome. Thank you. Moving on to new business, proposal to add a library staff member to take notes during library board meetings and compile official meeting minutes, and also to operate the camera. So, any discussion about, I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but I'm not in everybody else's head, so, which is a good
Let's do
thing.
it.
Oh,
Fine.
that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a
I
good
think it's
thing.
all good.
Okay, yeah,
I think it's a
it's
great
all good
idea.
I'm
too.
kind of salty that no one thought of it earlier, because I hate being the secretary.
Right.
I did the minutes for years,
I know,
and I
it's the
hated
worst.
it with a
I hate
passion.
doing it.
Yeah, according to what it is, like Adams or whoever is put into the meeting, packet.
Yeah, it's in
It's
the
just-
bylaws
It's
of
an
the
appropriate thing anyway, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in
Right.
And
this.
it's like, man,
I was thinking it's
I didn't
just,
even
You are
remember-
not unappreciated, Caitlin.
right.
What?
You're not unappreciated.
I found
No,
Right.
I was just
I
like,
found
man,
out-
this would make my life so much easier.
I
So
feel
I was
your
like,
pain.
I was like,
Yeah.
I never even caught that at all. I was just like, oh god. I looked saw the packet, I'm like,
I found a way.
I read that manual too, and I just don't even remember reading that by now.
I didn't see it, I was
At all.
looking for something else and I
Yeah.
came across that and I was like, oh, wow, okay.
I was just like, man.
I approached Randy, and he's willing to do it.
Great,
Is
great.
he also willing to operate said camera if it ever shows up?
I'm sure he will.
He'd be a good guy for that.
Yeah.
Does Randy have time to do this?
Yes, he does.
Okay.
I mean,
It's-
I know he does a lot.
He does a
Okay.
lot.
And he would be paid for it, correct?
They both do.
It's not volunteer.
Yeah,
work,
oh, I
right?
know, I
It's
know.
compensated pay. Like, in
Yes,
his hours.
he'll be paid at his normal hourly
Do we
rate.
have that hour, or is that gonna take hours away from him doing other things? Cause he is super busy all the time.
The way we generally work things out is that, we all work closely together. Like today, he had to be up in Ohio for a photo session
Mhm.
because one of his friends just published a book, and one of the characters is inspired by one of his medieval characters. So, so I was,
Okay,
and Amy's
cool.
on Amy's moving her daughter into the dorm room at MSU, so I was the sole librarian today. So, like, when we work on Saturdays, that's 4 hours, so we usually just take an afternoon, 4 hour, like a half day, another day,
Oh,
and we all
cool.
work together to make sure the schedule is
So
covered.
you decided that you're just paying hourly rate, or is there, can we just do like a flat rate?
I think because he's an employee, it has to be his
It has
hourly.
to be their hourly rate, yeah.
This won't put him on, but because you guys.
We don't
can
get
flex
overtime,
it-
we just don't do it.
Okay,
I allow them to bank their time
okay,
and
cool.
use it in lieu of
Flex it.
vacation days or
Cool.
sick days.
I just, Jordan brought up a good point that he
Yeah.
is
Alright, so-
extremely
It's a very
busy.
legitimate concern.
I mean, he can manage his own time, he's a professional,
Yeah.
so
Right.
as long as,
Yeah.
as long as he's comfortable with it, I'm comfortable with it.
And we all like having a little bit of flexibility
Yeah,
with our schedules too.
Yeah,
cool.
great.
So we all have doctor's appointments and other life things that sometimes we have to do during the workday, so.
And one thing I don't know that I made clear is that I would like the person to also be able to, whether it's Randy or Amy, to be able to call the roll as well, just
Okay.
would save time.
Do you
things.
have to actually like physically have people say here?
Here,
You do.
Okay.
yeah. Yeah.
So Randy's going to need the template that you typically use that Sandy passed on to you.
I don't actually use that, it became too difficult to
Oh,
take
okay.
notes. I read it all by hand.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I found it kinda confusing.
It was,
looking at
I
it.
tried to use it the first couple times that she gave it to me, I do have it and I will forward it to him for sure. It just became, I write too big, so the lines weren't
Oh, if
enough space.
If it's just tedious, then he doesn't need to, whatever he's comfortable with.
I just have giant, terrible handwriting, so like where normally I would be able to write like 3 lines, but her lines are so small because it's all 1 page. But I'll forward it to him and then I'll, give him a copy of, I'll forward the editable Google Doc that I have.
Okay.
So he can just keep, because what I do is I have the minutes are basically the same, and then I'll just go in and edit the things that need to be changed, like the motions, and then like obviously the items on the agenda. But I found that works way easier for me. And then
I like
just
your
walk-
format, it's concise and,
And it's consistent, it's always the same.
Yeah.
Because I don't change 90%, like, maybe not, like 70% of it never changes.
concise and consistent.
Right.
Yes.
All right, so all in favor of adding a library staff member to Randy in this case?
Oh, wait, is that gonna take place next month? Is that when it kicks in, or is it gonna kick in at the new board
I
thing?
don't know,
That, we have not discussed that, we should discuss that.
I was like, oh
Let's
wait,
talk about
when
it.
is that gonna start?
when is Randy willing to
Cause
start?
obviously I will do these minutes, cause I'm here,
I would imagine that he's willing to do it at the very next
the
meeting,
September
though.
meeting,
Then he can do it
September
next
meeting.
cool, alright, then I'll do these ones and I won't have to.
He's cool, that's it.
Awesome.
Awesome. So all in favor of adding Randy to do the library board meeting minutes, call the roll, and operate the camera starting next month?
Mhm. Speaking of camera, is it going to be arriving, or are we going to be getting it, or is this?
Yes, there will be a
stuff?
camera here.
Okay. Are we going to have a tripod?
Whatever he's most comfortable with, and probably a tripod, yeah.
Okay.
So we have a motion to
I make a
approve.
motion
Motion
to have Randy start being our official, unofficial secretary that does all of our meeting minutes, video, and roll calling.
Right, I'll second.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Excellent.
So that we didn't do
That was
those
easy.
earlier.
All right. Proposal to close the library for 2 days for staff to do several building maintenance and organizational projects. That's Randy wanted to do that.
He's also, even just one day would be tremendously helpful. We'll take what we can get.
What day was he thinking, like Saturday, or we're only open for 4 hours, or?
We didn't get into that, so that's flexible too.
I take pretty seriously closing the library. That being said, I know that your staff works very hard, and there are obviously things that they can't get to if the building is open. And we don't have the hours that I can think of to have them come in on a day we aren't open, so I'm comfortable with this. Whether or not it's a Friday, Saturday, or Monday, Tuesday, I think I would be open to your all's thoughts on that, but I'm comfortable with closing the library. Yeah.
Do you know when he was thinking about doing it? I mean, cause they're already starting to book programs.
Obviously, we would have to, work around the program schedule.
I just wasn't sure if like they had, you guys, them and you, well, everyone had like a time frame, like when they wanted to get these things
We think we
done.
can get most of it done up here in one day, and then if we have a second day, we can
Do the,
do the basement.
okay.
I'd
I
give
just was,
yourself 2 days.
yeah, I give
think 2
yourself,
days
yeah, I
is
give yourself 2
They
days,
don't
and
have
that's
to
totally
be-
fine, I just
They
wasn't
don't
sure if
have
like,
to be
you were
consecutive.
thinking
they
like
can do it.
next, yeah, I don't think they do, would they have to be 2 consecutive days?
No.
Hmm.
And
That would-
continuity is nice, but
It would be nice, but it would also, it would.
Minimal
It would,
impact.
yeah, it would, yes, exactly.
Are we not closed already on this day?
What day?
we're open today,
No, we're open,
Mondays.
just till like, I think
Okay.
6.
Monday
6.
and Friday are early days where we're open from 10 till 6. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday is 12 till 8, and Saturday is 12 till 4.
I'm adding that day, so.
I would try, I would like it to be a day that is shorter, so there are minimal disruptions.
A Saturday.
Yes.
Or even like a Friday, or like, you know, one of the shorter days.
He's not gonna want,
Tuesday, Wednesday,
they're all
Thursday.
8-hour days, though.
But the ones that are open later, I would like not to do the ones that are open, like the late night days.
Saturdays probably be
Does
that.
that make sense?
Yeah,
That way
he's
there's
not
more
gonna-
opportunity for people after work if they do need to come here and do something.
He's not going to want to, it's pretty dead in the evenings.
Is it?
hmm
Okay, then never mind then.
He's not gonna wanna do Fridays, and neither will
Just
Amy,
the
because
teens.
she has story time,
Story time.
and he has the teen time.
I mean, do they have to be consecutive days?
They don't have to be consecutive.
Okay.
Can, you guys leave the days to our discretion?
That's fine with
That's
me.
fine.
Yeah.
You guys have a
You
better
know-
idea. of
yeah,
you
when-
know your
when
schedule
you
better
can
than I
come
do.
in.
And we
Yeah.
can figure it out this week and let you guys know.
Yeah,
That sounds good.
That's fine.
I think
Yeah.
we should give a
Anything that
couple
needs
of
to
weeks'
happen-
notice too.
Yeah.
Like
is
2
there
weeks?
anything that needs to happen like soon on this list? Or
It's
is
not,
nothing like broken or
nothing that's, that time
so we
sensitive.
have time to let people know ahead of time?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
I wanna give, the public a 2-week notice.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay.
All right. Any further discussion? Nope. All right. So then, do we have a motion to close the library for 2 days?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Wright. Do we have a second?
Yes.
Second by Ms. Zeiss. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. All right. Next item of business, director evaluation and scheduling it. So,
Would we do this, like in a closed session
yes,
of a board meeting?
this would be closed session because it's a personnel matter.
Um,
Does anybody have a preference?
We do it next meeting early, or we could say like
We
Well,
could-
last time, didn't you give us sheets to, like rubric,
Sandy did,
or do we still have
No.
those?
I doubt it,
I will look, cause I never.
because they were good.
I never did.
So if we're,
Throwing it out.
I'll look, well, it's in my email.
I
so
probably
just
have it in my-
Continuously swipes.
I probably have it in my
Um,
file, the paper copy.
Yeah, I'll look and see if I have it, but I liked that format that we did last.
I did
Cause
too.
last time we did, you guys weren't, but, last time Sandy came up with this rubric based upon like, job descriptions and like other stuff that she had found online. And it was like rating, like 1 to 5, there's like
Yeah.
6
Mhm.
sections, I think, like 6 questions, and then just general comments. And it was like super easy, super detailed, gave you as much or as little as you felt like putting in. We had like a month to do it, and then we talked about it. We came in early, I think, for that.
and I'm happy to look for a rubric if we need
Yeah,
to.
I'll look and see what I
Yeah,
have, and then we
I'll
can
see.
always
We
come
can
up with
come up-
something
yeah,
else,
we can come up-
obviously,
Are you gonna wanna
finish
do
it.
this before the new board shows up?
I'm sorry?
Are you going to want to do this before the new board shows up?
Yes.
I would,
I
they
Yes.
haven't known.
Yeah, they don't have
Right, they don't
contact.
have,
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
part of why I thought it was urgent,
Yeah,
because they have no,
so you
and we
wanna
didn't do one
do
last year,
something like
no.
because we were all
September.
Zoomy, like
Yeah.
website. We were all on Zooms and stuff,
right.
so I think that was the last time
Well,
we
if
did
you
one
wanna do it in
was
September,
2019.
yeah.
Probably
So it's
19,
been a
yeah.
couple years, so,
Yeah, September seems like it would be,
The best
The best
time for
time.
it, and if you can find those sheets,
yeah, fine, yeah,
or you can
tomorrow.
make some.
So you guys have September and October too?
yes.
I just think it should be done before new people come on board.
Right, no,
Yeah.
I agree, because they
Yeah,
won't
for
have any
sure.
context.
I'll have what I
So-
can find by the end of the week, and I'll
And
send it
Sandy
down.
probably still has it, knowing her.
Well, I'll look what I have before we bother Sandy.
Okay.
Cause I'm pretty sure, I have all of that stuff, like, I don't delete any of my email that isn't spam, so anything that comes from the library I have.
So I-
So, yeah, do we have a motion
Yeah.
to schedule the director evaluation?
Yeah.
Wait, before we make a motion, did we decide whether we wanted to meet before or after on the 19th, before or after the meeting?
Let's do after, then
That's
we're
what I
not
think,
holding
too.
up the public in case.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll have them do comments and
Oh,
then.
yeah, you have to clear the room anyway.
Yeah.
so not- We don't usually have people that much, but,
And just put them out, well, just in case.
Will Randy be in the closed session with you guys?
No,
No.
no,
No.
we can't.
Well,
If he's the notator,
I wouldn't because
yes.
he's your direct report.
Right,
Yeah, it's tricky.
Like if it was a random volunteer that you weren't in charge of their pay or their evaluations, then sure, but
Yeah,
yeah, I don't think it's a
I
good
don't think
idea for
that's
him to
fair to
be,
you.
well, how do you wanna handle it? How do you record what's,
Well, it's a closed session for an employee review.
right,
That's not,
We still have to have records of them, of what happened in the closed session.
but yeah, but we don't have to record video of the closed session,
no.
No,
but we still have to take minutes.
Yeah.
I would gladly take,
yeah,
No,
that's probably the
during
best
that
thing, just
time?
have,
like, that's fine, I don't mind doing that. I mean, I've done it all this time, or less time now.
Yeah,
That would, that would
Yeah.
be less, that'd be
Yeah,
less
less-
awkward
yeah.
for me,
Yeah,
yeah.
like, I mean, obviously, I will, you know, I will take notes, or if anyone else wants to volunteer as tribute to take notes. Then, that's fine, I don't think it's fair to you, and I
Agreed.
don't think that it's fair to put, but not like I expect anything
It
awkward or
just-
weird to happen,
right.
but the direct reports, you know, supervisor relationship, I just don't think that would be very ethical, yes,
agreed.
or fair for either of you, comfortable, whatever.
Yeah, I'm more comfortable with him not being here.
Exactly, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't, you know, when I was managing people, I didn't want my, you know, cashiers to
Right,
hear my
yeah.
review, like, it's none of their business.
You never know when things are gonna go south.
I don't expect that to happen, but yeah, like, I mean,
I don't expect it.
you know,
I'll make the motion to schedule the
Excellent.
director's, performance review at the next meeting,
After,
After the meeting.
after the next meeting, and Katie.
I will take notes.
And then do we have a second?
yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right,
Do we know if, Barbara Winter will Barbara be back next week?
No,
She'll be gone for next one too?
yeah,
Okay.
Really?
she has the art thing,
Huh?
with the
That
Klimt
month.
show,
yeah, Gustav,
Gustav Klimt,
Right.
yeah.
Why not, she's in Poland this month.
I know.
It's actually involved.
And next month, she's gonna
She's in
be,
Europe somewhere.
next year she's gonna be in the, she has that. It's kind of like the,
It's like the Van Gogh thing.
yeah,
Yeah, I wasn't sure when that was happening.
it's
So-
the night of the October meeting.
We can still send her the things, she can always submit them and we can review.
Right,
them.
True.
right,
Yeah.
yeah, she doesn't physically have to be
Yeah,
here.
I was just curious if she was gonna leave the country to actually have
And-
time to read or gallivanting on the beach somewhere. Have a great time.
And you guys will have to get the form to Linda, and she does not have email.
That's correct, I
Okay.
will bring it to you. I'll plan
And
on it.
we don't have any old business, committee reports.
Nothing for library things, so.
Any-
We're adding, another camera like the one that you loaned us. Or, not the camera,
Oh, projector?
projector, yes.
Is that here, by the way?
They returned it to Ferndale.
Good. Cool.
I got a question. Can we add a committee here? No.
Yeah, I don't see why we couldn't make that,
Yeah.
propose that.
Just wondering, I mean, is there room that you could use in this library for, like I said, expansion possibly?
Oh,
That's
great.
part of,
Collections?
that's part of why we need to, have these 2 days to close, cause we're, trying to incorporate storage into the spaces that we have, and organization, so that we can make room for the Library of Things,
Right.
among other things.
I was thinking that maybe a committee to figure out things that could be done structurally to the library in order to make it a more, you know, usable place for the public. And, you know, I don't know whether or not that's a possibility or not, or.
Like
just-
adding an addition or something?
Yeah, additions,
We're dying to get some of those modular, pods
yeah.
in lieu of meeting rooms,
Mhm.
because they're much more affordable, and they have, heating and cooling,
Yeah.
they're soundproof, they're perfect.
Are they
But
indoor,
they're-
outdoor?
About 14,000 each.
Right. I've always felt that this library was built strangely. I mean, as far as.
It is.
This is entirely wasted space. There's a whole basement downstairs that could be utilized for something else, that back room. I mean, you know, it's right now, it's dead space for everybody.
This
I mean-
basement, this library is still revealing its mysteries. It's the
No.
strangest building.
I think that the people need to sit down and brainstorm this thing
Isn't
at
that-
some point.
Would you classify that as part of strategic planning?
I don't
Utilizing
know.
space to
Maybe.
better serve our patrons?
Maybe.
Staff
I
is,
recommend that you get with Barbara Winter on that strategic
No.
planning meeting.
No, I would rather see somebody else.
But that's
You're like,
something-
absolutely not.
let me also say, that's something that's constantly occurring with staff.
Yeah,
We're constantly moving and changing things
Right.
and trying to make the most of things here.
right, but if it can be done somehow easier, maybe.
The problem is,
I do-
I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt you.
I just said the elephant in the room is money.
Yeah, yeah, so that's a good.
When is our millage up?
We are up in 26.
Okay. So we got some time.
I mean,
Go ahead, Darren, sorry.
you have a better idea than I do, but my understanding is like any sort of large remodel or construction project is probably out of the cards. You know,
We were at 2.5 when I changed us over to a district library.
yeah.
And the lady who is the guru of millages in the state of Michigan, I can't think of her name right now.
To clear.
Yes,
Yeah.
but she recommended we don't go any further than 2.5 because we were right on the heels of SMORSA, which is like a really,
That didn't pass.
SMORSA passed.
Oh, that, okay.
That, the
I'm
one where they
thinking something
partnered
else.
with East Point to make a new taxing authority,
Yeah.
because they were at the maximum number of mills that the city could get. So they did this as a way of funding police and fire, I think, because they had already tapped the residents as far as they could. So that was Ed being very, very creative next door.
So have we rolled back from that 2.5?
It's constantly eroding.
Or where we
It's
at now?
closer to 2.2 now
So if we
because
were-
of Headley and
if
Proposal
we were to
A.
ask again for 2.5, it would be
We probably have the same amount that we're
not,
using.
Yeah,
not
yeah.
insignificant.
What's the problem this year is that some of the brownfields go live, whatever, and they're going to be skimming about $150,000 right off the top of our property tax revenue
That's not us directly.
to pay the city's bills.
Yes,
I,
It's still not done directly us, it's,
Oakland
Ours
County
is-
does it.
yeah, but I'm talking about the brownfield skims off of the entire city, not necessarily just
All
us.
of
But our portion is going to be going up to about 150, according to Lacey.
Can't be that much.
That's a
It's not, it's
fifth of our budget,
impossible.
isn't it?
It's what?
Like a fifth of our budget total?
It's physically impossible. That you can't do that. It's not 150.
Because I had questioned her because
It's
I,
not right.
a mill was worth so much, and then I realized that the property tax revenue she put was about 150,000
They
lower
try to
than
bury
what
their
it should be.
costs on us.
It's done by Oakland County, it's legal.
No, but it's not 150,000, they're just
That's-
quoting that.
I mean, can we run the building with $150,000 less money?
It's not gonna happen.
I wanna,
Well, we have no choice.
Yeah.
It's not gonna, never mind.
one thing I'd like to do is I wanna talk with Haley Stevens, about getting some grants, maybe to pay for some of the things that we wanna do. The pods, I think that would be something,
Are they indoor or outdoor pods? Or are they just-
Indoor.
Okay.
yeah, indoor pods.
There, you can do podcasts, they're soundproof.
I just didn't know if they could be like outside. Okay.
So I need to get with her anyway, sometime within the next couple weeks. So I'm gonna ask her if she would be willing to, or one of her staff would be willing to sit down and talk with us about some of the grant opportunities that are available.
Cool.
So I know that Andy Levin was able to get some funding for some other libraries, and now that Congresswoman Stevens is taken over, she can pursue
The
this.
city really made out like a bandit.
They did very well.
Interesting.
This, from Andy Levin, they got probably close to $1 million for different projects.
If we were going to do modeling renovations, are buildings not considered historic structure, right? It's not, no restrictions or anything
Nope.
besides city approval, obviously, like the Sommel Tanner thing.
There's
so.
never been any historical designation.
I just wasn't sure,
I never seem to need city approval when I replace the HVAC or put new roofs on the
but if we're gonna get a
buildings.
remodel, I mean, they required city approval for the solar panels, was something that drastic. I was just wondering, also, you don't really have a lot of space, so the only way we'd be able to, if we were to expand, would be up or remodeling the inside of the atrium.
I think you'd be
Right.
surprised if you got an architect who specializes in libraries about
Yeah.
what they could come up with without,
Without changing
Really-
the shape of the building?
yeah,
Yeah,
using the space we have more effectively.
okay,
Um,
I can ask who Royal Oak used,
Just library design.
yeah, I think that's who they use,
They're pretty much king.
yeah.
I mean, it would cost,
And they're good.
They could, I mean, we can
It's-
see how much a consultant, consult, whatever, would be. At least that would give us a direction of how much we would need to save to do that. I mean, it's a good idea.
there's also the Kresge Foundation usually does half of the cost of things like this.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah,
Even
they're good.
it's replacing the elevator. The elevator is on borrowed time.
I think that might be a bigger priority, because
And-
we're doing it ADA compliant.
That, last
Yeah.
time I talked to the elevator guy, it tripled in cost, because of the pandemic.
Inflation,
So
supply chain.
we had the $100,000 in fund balance, and now he's saying it's closer to $300,000. It would be wonderful to get,
Grants towards that.
grants for that,
Oh my
for
God,
our
for the
crumbling
elevator.
infrastructure in this
Yeah.
building.
It's cheaper to build a new one if we're doing a,
I got the same thought, Rich.
I was,
How much is an elevator? I don't know.
well, the better one, you know,
Yeah.
possibly.
Would it be cheaper to build, to just install a new system rather than continuously?
It would be a
repair the
new
one we have?
system, that's what we're talking about.
Oh,
The
okay.
cheapest way that
I
he
thought
can
you
do
meant
it.
repairing the one we have now.
No.
Okay, that makes sense.
No, he found blueprints for it, so he'll keep it going as long as he can. But,
Minimal usage
Yeah,
until.
yeah, you're gonna build up. I mean, there's also the outside portion over here, I mean, that, to the corner on the front, there's a space there that could be used for some kind of expansion, but, you know, it's a good place for an elevator too, so, a new one. And you keep the old one going for a spare or something. Depends.
All right, so, any further discussion?
I don't know, do you wanna make a committee? It's up to you.
I think that'd be fine, yeah, I think it's a good idea. What do you all think?
Like a committee for remodeling?
Yeah, to talk about remodeling, I think that'd be,
Just-
A
just for-
That'd be fine.
renovation
yeah.
committee?
Do we
Okay.
need to amend the,
even just things like this, carpeting is dismal. The carpeting upstairs is original to the building probably, it's threadbare. Our furniture is from the 80s, and all these things that, more affluent libraries take for granted, I'm feeling kind of resentful because we don't have money, we're paying the city's bills and we are just hanging on by a thread.
Yeah.
no, I think a committee is definitely called for. So, Rich, would you like to chair it?
Sure.
Okay, and then does anybody else feel moved to serve on it? I mean, I'm on all the committees anyway.
Well, yeah.
I
you're
have
on
to.
Okay, you're gonna be there.
You know, you have to, you know,
I'm on everything anyway.
Right.
I can't escape.
we'll sit down and, you know, run through some ideas.
Sounds good.
What's that? Would you like to be on it too, or you?
I am interested, although I'm hesitant to commit to anything that would take me out of the house another night of the week.
It shouldn't take you out too much at all. I wouldn't think.
Right, and Zoom would be easier.
Zoom, yeah, we can Zoom.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not, it's,
'cause
there's
it's-
there's no,
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to meet in person necessarily.
So you work in a significantly more modern library. So.
Yeah, we're always doing work on it. So I also have an idea of what a lot of the stuff costs, which is discouraging.
It's
Mhm.
it is.
Like talking to my fist.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Yes.
I won't say anymore.
All right, so we don't need a motion to make a committee,
No.
it just is.
Just-
All right, well,
Just willing
welcome to the
be.
renovation committee, all
Cool.
those who are interested.
Cool.
It's cool. I'm excited. New committees. All right. The legal aid clinic, I think we can strike that from the agenda. I do want to talk with another, if Judge Hartwell is unable, I need to get with him and ask kind of what his vision is, and if he's unable, I'm going to ask a couple of other attorneys, or maybe Judge Hartwell has some ideas. And then Barbara's not here, so we can't get an update on the mural project. Public comments.
Okay, I have three. I already told Adam one of them. I have a friend who lives in the Baldwin house, and she was telling me about how wonderful it is that someone comes from the Hazel Park Library and she can get books, because otherwise she's in a wheelchair, which means she's not going a whole lot of anywhere. And I said, okay, what's his name? I'm gonna be at the library. And she said, Randy. Well, when I came here to pick up a book, I found him. And so he's already been told, but his boss needs to know too.
He also does a trivia club once a month there
At
at Baldwin,
Oh, at Baldwin.
and a book club at Baldwin once a month.
She didn't tell me about those two things, but she was just glad to be able to have access to books.
Who is your friend?
Rhonda Rogers, with a D, Rodgers. And I I used to call him my little guy, but he's 12 now. And he does remember, I read to him practically all of the Berenstain Bear books, and they're like 250. And I think we did make through most of them. And instead of ordering them, I just went to some of the different libraries. And he does remember me picking him up when he was much younger and holding him up so he could put him in your chute back there. So that's cool. And then about 4 years ago, I finished, with the help of every library in the original Royal Oak Township, the different Polk directories. I made a list of where they all were, which libraries had them, and where the cities could find their people in there. Hazel Park at one time was the township hall, and then it became a city, and then it bounced to some other place. So it's an interesting history. So I do that too, because I do genealogy, and just got interested in where all these directories can be found. So
I think I've talked to you in the past about that.
okay, well, I had every librarian everywhere was very helpful, including here,
Right.
so this was cool.
I was talking about the Polk directories that
Yeah.
we have here.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of them.
I used those today for a patron.
Did
Oh,
you?
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think I've mentioned, I've somewhere along the line I emailed you, so.
Oh, all right.
I used to be on the historical commission here, so.
Okay, I visited at one time, I got a little tour of the thing.
Right,
And a nice soft drink, because it was a hot day.
right.
Okay, that could have been where then, yeah,
Probably.
because I think I got some help there, where the libraries and the historical commissions, who had what. Probably did, okay,
Yeah, I thought it would just ring a bell there, so.
the Polk directory stuff.
Right.
Right. So those are the things. Now, you have, you have library board members up for election in November?
We do. There's
How many?
5. There'll be
All five?
Well, there's
It's-
7 of us normally, but
Oh, okay, I see 5, all right.
and 2 folks are stepping down, and then we have, or 3 folks are stepping down, and then we'll have, so 3 new people, plus Rich and Jordan are gonna return. So,
Okay, you're staying here
and Linda, you too? Okay.
okay.
They're running, so the people who are on the ballot are running unopposed.
Oh,
So we know who the new board is going to be
oh, all right.
come
well,
November.
They're not here attending to start,
No.
No, they will be.
I do that kind of thing, but it's amazing how unusual it is. In fact, I even drove up to St. Ignace. That was the first time the U of M Board of Regents ever had a meeting in the Upper Peninsula. And I drove up there. But it also has the Ojibwe Museum next to it, and my son's ancestry is Ojibwe. That's a genealogical challenge.
That
So I made a 2-fer or 3-fer or something out of that trip. But yeah, I do stuff like that. So that's it. My Hazel Park memories.
So you're running for public office?
Again, yes, University of Michigan Board of Regents.
Are you on there now?
No, I got my BA at Michigan State University in education, never got to teach. I got my law degree at Wayne State, and now I want to go to U of M without paying tuition, so I'm running for their board, for the Green Party, which is how I first met him.
Right.
He
What
hooked
was
us
your-
up
what
with
was
the
your name?
library where he used to live as a place to have a meeting, so we have these library connections too. Pardon?
What was your name?
I'm Sherry, Sherry. Middle initial A, which I try to say stands for adorable. Wells, Wells. Thank you. So you two won't be on, no, you will be on the board still.
Yes,
and you
I'm
won't.
sorry.
Okay. Well, then they do need another secretary.
They do.
What a way to get that happening.
Well, that's part of why this was brought up in the first place.
Aw,
I'll still be here doing random stuff.
Good.
books are addictive, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I'll have time for the friends now, so
Yeah,
I'll come in January.
you could be chair, you can be in charge.
I can actually be a member now
Yeah.
and vote on things.
Right.
Brad will be so happy.
About 20 years ago, I was the friend of the Ferndale Library because they didn't have a friends group.
Oh, fun.
The only friend.
But I put on a Getting Your Book Published seminar, and we took the money from that, and then I got someone to come in to talk to kids about writing a book.
Oh, cool.
And that was good. I enjoyed that.
Awesome.
I've written, or well, published 9. Michigan Law for Everyone.
Oh,
It's been a while. With term limits, there's nothing new to put in a book anymore. But Ferndale has all my books, of course.
well, thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you, Sherry.
Thanks for the invitation.
Thank you,
Our
Sherry.
pleasure. All right, board member and director comments. We can go around in reverse alphabetical order, I guess. Ms. Zeiss, comments?
No.
Ms. Gether?
I just want to say thanks to Mary for putting all the effort into fundraising. That's awesome. And thanks to the 3 Hazel Parks teachers that we had for supporting us and working really well together. I hope that we have more interactions like that in the future.
I hope so too.
That's
All
all
right.
I had. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Wright?
Just kudos to our staff, always going above and beyond. Mary taking the initiative to raise all this money, it's unbelievable. Amy's persistence with the Home Depot project, it's great. Randy is always doing more than any of the other adult librarians I know or I've worked with, and I'm always impressed at how far they're willing to stretch themselves for this place, so.
He really has a passion for doing teen programming.
We know.
So-
And it's a rare skill and a rare passion. And,
Yes.
I was children's librarian for a long time and did lots of teen programming. I can honestly say I've never had much success.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's a
And
hard
the
number.
fact that teenagers like Randy is frankly rare. It's rare, so you're lucky to
They
have somebody
love him.
who can engage him like that. Yeah, I think he's such an asset. So.
And I finally got him stepping up on adult programming, so.
Good. I didn't know about that outreach to the
Oh, the seniors,
yeah. So
That's been going on for years. I used to do it before Randy.
fantastic.
Linda used to
Yeah.
do it too.
Yeah, Linda always
Yeah.
helped.
Linda used to do it.
That's how she decided she wanted to live at Baldwin House.
Do you live there? Oh, do you know Rhonda?
Who is she?
Rhonda Rogers? I commented to someone who talked to me as I was going out to my car, and he said, oh yeah, she always has a smile for everybody. She's in a wheelchair, she's, a lot of people in a wheelchair. Okay, black woman just turned 70.
What's true.
She plays Scrabble on
Oh,
the happy
yeah.
hour time.
Now you'll have to go
With,
find her. Be her friend.
Paul Felton, and she plays Scrabble.
Nope, I don't know her. I'm sorry.
Okay, how many people in that?
All right.
I don't know.
So let's,
They're
Yeah,
changed
so-
just because of.
we want to
Sorry.
It's okay, we wanna keep it moving. Board member comments, Mr. Robbins?
I have nothing.
Nothing? Alright, I have a couple things. First of all, I appreciate that Sherry shared about Randy. She sent me a really nice email, as well about Randy. He's working really hard. I also got a phone call, that was very positive about Amy, and how she'd helped a patron. The patron was just going on and on about how Amy is, and the patron was right. I couldn't argue. And I also appreciate her persistence with the grant. This weekend I had the pleasure of walking around with Mary and Amber at the art fair. They invited me to come with them, and it was nice. I was able to bring the dogs, and we just hung out for a little bit. And they did a great job with the patrons approaching people with the pink thing, the event flyer, and
That's nice.
yeah, they did very well.
Keep doing it.
That was Mary's idea. I love it, the format
it way
too,
better
compared to
than
the
paper.
sheet, yeah.
So that they get what they want to do out there with these.
I mean, you can use mine.
They did.
As far as
They
without
didn't, they
having
weren't
to-
able to, pass out all 200, but they got a lot of them into people's hands.
So yeah, they did a very nice job, and was well received. And I appreciate what Mary's doing to raise all this money too with the picnic table. So that's all I've got. Green, do you have anything you want to add?
I am just so thrilled with all the progress we're making with my wonderful dedicated staff, and we're going to see things happen, and I'm very excited about it.
It's a great staff. My neighbor was complimenting them to me too the other day. She's like, "Oh, they're all so nice."
I almost never get complaints, just praise.
All right. We don't need a motion to adjourn, so it is now 7:55. Let's call this good.
I'm amazed at how many names are at the end of the alphabet.
I'm WR and have never in my life been for anything
On the
to come
bottom.
backwards. Yeah,
I
there's
thought
the
you
other.
were. Or no, yeah, you're third.
Yeah.
Because Barbara's new.
Enter, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
All of our college registrations and all of these other things that go alphabetically, and it's like, just